Ark Survival Ascended is a game that I personally have not had many issues with. However, I cannot ignore what others have experienced. Crashes, rollbacks, the whole nines. ASA was meant to be something else that it is currently not. Well, in some extent anyway. Let's talk about that. Now, ASA originally was meant to be a graphic upgrade to the previous game, Ark Survival Evolved, in January of 2023. This being like a whole 2 years ago now. Moving the entire game to Unreal Engine 5. Later walking back on this and now charging for $40 on PS5 for the now separate game, $50 for a bundle with Ark 2 on both Xbox and PC. With both versions charging for each of the previous paid DLCs separately. With much outrage, the bundle was scrapped altogether, realizing it made no sense to bundle Ark 2 with ASA when Ark 2 had nothing to show for it with the exception of that announcement trailer and some concept art. The price now being $60 and no free Ark 2. More backlash led to the now $44 and paid DLCs included that we have right now. If all that wasn't enough already, all events, official servers, and patches for Ark Survival Evolved were discontinued, with which on one end, this makes sense as servers would then need to go to ASA rather than ASE. On the other end, official servers going away is what broke it for a lot of people, Bam being one of the most vocal as he is a PvP content creator for ASE. In fact, he still plays ASE even now, PvE official players being very vocal about the continuing of the servers is also very, very high. There's multiple videos of PvE official players being interviewed for it. I think there's one guy, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'll have a screenshot on screen. The pretty much abandonment of Ark Survival Evolved was the straw that broke the camel's back for a lot of people, to the point of there being many videos, articles, and blog posts talking about it, to the point of many people being outraged by the decisions made. However, it is not entirely Wildcard's fault for this. The publishing company above them, Snail Games, is to blame for this consistent backpedaling and such. The consistent delays of map deployment, which might be Wildcard, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet Snail had something to do with it given how much influence they have. If it was purely up to Wildcard, then ASA would still be a graphical upgrade. However, due to Snail's greed and desperation for funds, ASA was made into a different game. I've spoken about Snail before, and much bigger content creators than myself have covered how corrupt they are. See this video right here. All of this is actually thanks in large part to Snail. They made a deal with the higher-ups within Atrado to release ASA on a certain date or lose a lot of revenue. They used these funds for both Ark games, mostly ASE I'm pretty sure, to fund a startup that completely failed, and to top it all off, they banned or got banned over 90 PvP players, the Island Boys. See this video and this video to see more about that. Snail is admittedly pretty bad for a lot of reasons. This second part was added after the reveals on the 17th showing off Lost Colony as well as part 2 of the animated series, which I very much enjoyed, by the way. Not only those two things, but a 10 years of Ark retrospective video. That is the reason this video was even this portion was even added to the this video in the first place to begin with. All that preamble to say that even Snail had something to show. Well, kind of. A DLC map by the name of Ark Aquatica. Now, one would be thinking that this would be for Ark Ascended, as ASE has been sunsetted and there's no reason to go back to it. Right? Right? Well, there isn't, really, but Snail decided to not only backpedal on ASE not getting no support at all, but also banking on the people that are still playing it to fund this thing. That's a bad start, but what made it much worse is the horrid AI-generated trailer that they put out to promote this map. Now, thankfully, Wildcard has already stated that they have nothing to do with this, and it is purely Snail Games making this map. That was a very smart move, as everyone, and I mean everyone, has been bashing the crap out of this AI slop, to the point of where Snail Games USA had to unlist the video more than once. Okay, small tangent here. You know the scene in Demon Slayer when all the Hashira and Tanjiro attempt a group attack Muzan? Yeah, literally that. All parts of the ARC community have come together against Snail Games to say that we all hate this. Like, now at time of adding this section, we have no idea if they are going to cancel this venture or continue with it. There's limited thought on if they will ever actually put real effort into helping Wildcard fix ASA, but what if I even told you that it's not only Snail's fault for ARC Ascendant's downfall, despite not helping Wildcard in any form and making things only much worse? Yeah, there's one more thing at fault here, and that is the engine that ASC and ASE run on, Unreal Engine in general. Now, Unreal Engine 5.5 is currently on its way, and it's hoped that this will aid in the optimization of ASA and any other game that uses it. If the engine gets its ducks in a row, I could see ASA improving in a big way. However, I doubt that will do much if Snail Games is still the publisher. These people have no idea what they're doing, they are so out of touch with the ARC's player base, and it's no wonder everyone is so pissed. Anyways, I wanted to add this section in because of what Snail did. This is unacceptable on their part entirely, and they should be very much ashamed of themselves. Now, back to the original point of this video. I will say though, if ASC was just updated to ASA, there would be a good chance that the cross-platforming would not be there. Neither would the quality of life changes or anything else that ASA has updated. Maybe the quality of life change. But here's the biggest reason. Here's the biggest one rather, and the reason I myself have ASA to begin with. Mods on console, which, come on. I spent years playing ASE on console, starting right when it dropped for PS4 way back in the day. And at that time, I was wishing I could play ASE with mods, ultimately getting a proper PC and finally playing with mods. That then led to my most hated video, and everything else is history at that point. Before we continue on, I wanted to get my personal feelings on everything out there. Many people have talked about the bugs, the glitches, and the problems with ASE. Okay? Most PC players has ASA is a huge game, literally and graphically. My previously mentioned PC, the gaming laptop to be specific, is not powerful enough to handle ASA. So I'm right back to console again, which in a sense is a return to form for me. The only big difference is I have mods on console as well as the quality of life changes and everything else. I have rarely crashed or lagged out. If I did, if it was purely my fault and nothing to do with the game itself. While I do have strong opinions on how ASA is being run behind the scenes, the product itself is still very good. There are several things I personally would like to see along with my community. Heck, I have 2 videos on just that. Without ASA, I would not have the following I do. The PaleoArc team and ASA, along with other things, are the reason I am here today, and I would not have it any other way. Now, let's finally talk about mods. Mods come in 3 forms: free, freemium, and fully premium. Now, freemium meaning that the mod can be loaded, but the content can't be used itself. Say, for example, my boy Postodon. If he was a freemium mod, he would spawn on the map, but can only be killed and harvested. The only person that purchased Posta could ride, tame, and use him. But also, no, Postodon will not be a freemium mod. He will purely be free. Even if I give him to a developer, which I very much might, I will very much ask that he be left as a free creature. Premium is exactly what it sounds like. There's no need to break that down. The reason this video is even being made in the first place is because of pricing. Now, premium and freemium mods alike can range in price from $1 to $15. This purely being up to the mod devs themselves or even Snail Games. As of about a week ago, at time of writing, or maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago by the time of release, there was a skin pack reveal that places animated skins of pretty much every creature that did not yet appear in the ARC animated series. Personally, I don't like the idea of skin packs being premium at all, but then again, look at games like Call of Duty and even For Honor. I do not like this pack being $15, like at all. If it was the entire map looking like the animated series and the creatures too, different story. But it's just the creatures. I would pay $15 for the animated map and creatures entirely. I would pay $15 for that. Even that would make more sense. This is also right after, pretty much, Astraeos just released. That itself being $15, which makes sense. It's a map. However, even that is a contentious point because the map itself isn't even finished. Now, at time of writing, this map is getting additions to it every so often by the original developer, Nakatis. Or Nakatis, however you want to pronounce it. I've spoken about this creator before and his few maps that became official back in ASE and will be returning to ASE down the line. If you're going to make things premium, the least you can do is make it at least halfway done, not 35% like it was unreleased. I said then I wouldn't be checking it out until it's closer to being done, but I'm not sure even if that will be enough now. Now, that's not even talking about the two pay-to-win Fantastic Tames or Bob's Tall Tales. At least the latter not only has new structures, it also has skins for players and structures themselves. It adds to the game that I personally think is more PvE focused, but adds some things that could be considered PvP as well. Premium mods like Bob's Tall Tales are actually the best model for what I think these mods should look like. Things that shake up the formula in a fun and interesting way that is also very much optional. Now, the Fantastic Tames, even if you do not have either one, you know, the Fire Kitty and the Hell Horse, I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but these creatures spawn on maps even if you don't have it purchased, so they clog up spawns to the point of where mods have been made that literally block their spawns. Yeah, speaking of the Fantastic Tames, ASA has a lot of issues that stem from poor optimization and a parent company, I think that's what you call it, that is only interested in lining their pockets. Also, this thing with Nitredo is just very dumb. Admittedly, Nitredo isn't as bad as they used to be, but still. Them being the only server provider is also very, very silly. Not everyone can afford these servers. Heck, I can barely afford 2. I wasn't really sure where to put this section, so it's more at the end, but I think if Wildcard really wants this game to be a success, they need to just buckle down and fix the game, along with what I said above about the Unreal Engine, you know, getting their ducks in a row as well. Mod devs are pretty much clutching this whole thing. Anyways, I know why the exclusive deal is there, but it shouldn't be the case. It's a case of big corporations having their cake and eating it too. The player base, and in some cases wildcards, are suffering as a result. Nothing short of buying out Wildcard and taking Ark as a concept with them will save these games. I say games because we've heard absolutely nothing about Ark 2 for eons now. If there's anything to go by, both PvP and PvE players can agree that Wildcard and Ark as a whole would be in much better shape if anyone, not you EA, piss off, was taking the reins. Now, I doubt the troubled history would be there if there was someone else footing the bill. Game production is very expensive. I'm very much aware of that given my knowledge of how much mod creatures like Evo Giga cost. Spoiler alert, it's very expensive. Anyways, I'm done waffling. Who do you think would be the best people to take Ark and Wildcard away from Snail Games if it's possible? What do you think of the troubled history of ASA and even ASE to some extent? Let me know in the comment section below. And thank you guys so much for watching/listening, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good one. But also, if you're curious, creatures like Ceratosaurus from Editions Ascended, yeah, that guy costs like $6,500. So that'll give you an idea. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, all that good stuff as I just said, and I'll see you next time. Take care.